It looks like a lot, I know, but I have a plan and I'm gonna go over it with you, and I'm gonna kind of talk myself through it at the same time. Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy and I am a newer-ish Charlotte Mason homeschooler. And I am not a new homeschooler though. I've been homeschooling for about 10 years and I have one child who's about ready to go into 9th grade. And I want to share my tentative schedule with you. Now, when I say I'm a newer-ish Charlotte Mason homeschool mom, if you are kind of new to my channel, what I mean by that is I've been Charlotte Mason homeschooling for a long time. I just didn't realize that that was kind of what I was doing. I've just been homeschooling in the way that my child learns best. And I kind of just figured out over the last summer that that's actually what I was doing. I was doing Charlotte Mason homeschooling, and I feel kind of silly for never realizing it. But my older son, who graduated this past year, he was more of a traditional type homeschooler because he was in traditional public school for a couple of years, and I think that those habits just kind of stuck with him. But my youngest child, I got to homeschool from the very beginning, and he's always leaned more into Charlotte Mason homeschooling. So I am going to go a little bit further with that, and I'm adding in the enrichment studies and things like that to his schedule this year. And I've already showed you what my curriculum looks like. I will try to link that somewhere for you, like down in the description or something, if you want to take a look at that. But there are videos on my channel right now where I'm going to show you what I'm using for the school year for his curriculum. Now, I will say I'm not a Charlotte Mason purist, and when you see my schedule, it is not going to be what a typical Charlotte Mason homeschool would look like. In a typical Charlotte Mason homeschool, you kind of like move around different elements, so they're using different parts of their brain at different times of the day and things like that, and you kind of mix up the schedule so they don't get bored. My son's not like that. He's very routine and he's a lot like me. He gets that from me. He likes to do the same thing in the same order day after day. So I'm altering his schedule away from that. So I'm not a Charlotte Mason purist. I don't do everything by the book. I know that there are a lot of people out there. I'm not one of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to the computer and I'm going to show you a digital copy of this. Now, how I made this, I will show you. So in my Mardel planner that looks like this, you guys know I use Mardel planners a lot. The second section in here, which looks like this for the 2025-2026 planner, it is a bunch of planning pages. Now, this planning page section has a lot of great pages in it. And it has these pages for each student that looks like this. And this is your planning page. So down here you put all of your curriculum, and up here you write your tentative schedule. I'm not writing the time of day that we are going to do each thing because we are more routine people than strict by the clock schedule people. So when I say homeschool schedule, I really mean homeschool routine. Okay, so just be aware of that. So what I did was I wrote it all out here and I did it in pencil. And the problem with that is you guys can't see this on camera because it's in pencil, because I like to be able to erase things. Now, I will say too, with this schedule, I'm going to hole punch it and I'm going to put it in my notebook. You guys know I like a teacher notebook. And this is my teacher notebook for this year. Isn't it pretty? So it looks like this on the inside, and I have all my important papers in here, and I'm just gonna hole punch this and I'm gonna stick it in here, and it's going to be kind of just like a tentative schedule. So right now it looks like this, and I have like 14 different things right here. Sounds like a lot, but we don't do everything every single day. And also I want to mention too, I have not gone through each one of these subjects yet to see what days they have on the schedule to do what. So some things like Spanish, I don't know if that's an everyday subject or not, but I went ahead and I put it for every day, and then I can go back into my computer and I can erase it if it's like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or like a Tuesday, Thursday. I can take out certain days and then reprint it and put it in my notebook. You know what I mean? Now, I do like a little bit of wiggle room to change things. So with my schedule, really the only way for me to know the schedule is for me to actually implement it and then go back and change it, because I've just learned over the years that that's the best way to do it. Write yourself out a tentative schedule, but just know that things will change as you get into each curriculum, because one might take longer than you anticipated than another subject. So like math might take you twice as long as you thought it was going to take. And another one might only take a few minutes where you blocked out like 30 minutes for it. So just be aware of that. And I like to leave it like that for myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all those subjects, and I know you can see the corner of my whiteboard right here, but I have a whiteboard and it overlooks my son's desk, which is right over here. And what I will do is I will write out all those subjects, and he will just start knocking out each one, you know, one by one, and kind of like putting a check mark, you know, mentally or on the board himself, and going through each of those. Now, usually by the first month or two, he doesn't, you know, after he does everything for like 6 weeks in order, he kind of memorizes it and he doesn't need the board anymore. But a lot of these subjects we'll be doing together, and some of them he will be doing individually, independently of me, and that's okay. So I don't have all those things on here, but what I like to do is make a yearly overview, then kind of a weekly overview. I haven't done the daily overviews yet, because those are going to be in those main portions of these planning pages, and I will get more into that probably in a couple weeks when we start school. So I will take you over to the computer and we will look a little bit more closely at this tentative schedule. So I want to give an up-close look at what the schedule looks like, because like my other videos, I wrote in pencil just so I can erase some of these things here if I want to. And it's a little bit difficult to see on camera, so I thought if I make something like this on my computer, you guys can see it a little bit more easily and you can see what I'm talking about. So this is what the lineup looks like, and I know it looks like a lot, and it kind of is, but my son has a little bit more rigorous of a schedule just because of what he wants to study later on, and this is just what it looks like. And I'm setting him up basically for the later years of his high school career, I guess, if you want to call it, just so he can do what he wants to do in college. So this goes all the way to Saturday and Sunday. Don't worry about these days. This is just the way that the schedule came, and I'm just, you know, kind of plugging and playing this. And what I did was I printed this out and I'm going to put it in my binder, and I'm just going to follow this loosely. Now, this is not a hard schedule. I am not going to completely follow this every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is just kind of a setup for me at a glance so I can see what we're doing each day. So every morning for about 15 minutes, we do Bible reading, and that's kind of just what everybody does individually. And at this point, he'll also probably be reading his J.C. Ryle book as well. And then I have blocked off an hour for math. He's going to be doing geometry because he's a year ahead in math on the teaching textbook scale. So I blocked out an hour for high school math because sometimes high school math takes a little bit longer. Now, I don't expect it to take a full hour, but I went ahead and blocked out an hour just for my own sake. And then we have 15 minutes for spelling. Again, it's probably not going to take 15 minutes. And then 5 minutes for grammar. This is for Fix-It Grammar. And there is no Fix-It Grammar on Friday, so this is just a Monday through Thursday type of program. Now, another one of the big subjects is Structure and Style from IEW, which is a writing curriculum. I have lots of videos on that if you want to check it out. The first 2 days, so Monday and Tuesday, are video days, and those videos can be anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. and typically they're not longer than that, where they are getting like a lecture from Andrew Prudua, who is the instructor. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they are writing out whatever they learned or whatever the assignment is for Monday and Tuesday. These 3 days do not take a full hour here, and the papers usually do on Friday. But I did block out an hour just for these 2 days because I don't know how long his video is going to be, and each lesson has a video that is different in length. Now, the next thing I have is 45 minutes for history. And this may or may not take 45 minutes, honestly. I don't really know until I do it, and then I can adjust the time frames here. But once I'm just blocking out 45 minutes here for history, where we will be reading out of a text, we will be discussing and doing narrations, and, you know, just the typical type of stuff that you would see from any history high school curriculum. Now, I've blocked off 30 minutes for literature. I have not done Miss Mindy's high school literature courses. We're used to her middle school lectures and things like that. I don't know how long literature is going to take. He is in the C.S. Lewis course. We're just going to have to kind of go through it and see. But I went ahead and I blocked off 30 minutes Monday through Friday for this because in addition to reading the C.S. Lewis book, he will be reading another book along with it. Now, economics, I blocked off Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I want to say like 2 days out of the week, they're working on what they call the big project, and my son already does that daily. So these are going to be kind of like makeup days or free days for him. But again, I kind of have to just weigh it out and see. And then 30 minutes for Spanish a day. I don't know how long Spanish is going to take, but we went ahead and put Monday through Friday. I haven't actually looked at the schedule for BJU's Spanish course, so I have no idea. This might be longer or shorter. I'm not sure. We're just going to have to wait and see. I'm just kind of going off of what I remember from his Latin course last year, and that was typically 20 to 30 minutes Monday through Friday. So I'm going to cut in here because I completely forgot to add in biology. I feel so silly that I forgot one of his big 4 subjects, and that is biology this year from Apologia. So if you don't see me mention it for the rest of the video, it's because I forgot it, you guys. I feel very, very silly about that. But yes, I'm going to add in biology right here. And again, don't worry about the order of these because I'm probably not going to figure that out until I actually start homeschooling, but I'm going to see how this kind of schedule goes and then we'll kind of take it from there. But yeah, here is biology. I forgot my science. And then this is where it gets interesting here. So in a Charlotte Mason homeschool, you are doing things once a day as enrichments. And these are the enrichments that I've blocked off. So we have picture study, the nature notebook, poetry, music, and then I have just kind of a miscellaneous whatever I want to put here. And I have different things in that lineup, or we could do a makeup for one of these 4, but these 4 are my big ones here: music, poetry, nature, and picture study. So if anything, we might not even do anything on Friday, and he might just be concentrating on his main subjects up here. I'm not sure. We're just going to have to wait and see. This is just a tentative schedule of what it looks like right now and what I think I want to do. And, you know, being at the beginning of August, I'm not sure until I actually try to implement this, what it's actually going to look like. And then I can go back and I can tweak it. All right, guys, that is it for this video. That explains my thinking a little bit and what you guys are going to see. If you follow me on like Instagram and things like that, that's what I'm going to be loosely following. Again, it's a loose schedule, okay? I like to give myself room to change and adapt and make tweaks, and you know, that's basically what I'm doing here. So again, I write in pencil in this for a reason, and then I can go back and make any changes that I need to make, or if I decide, you know, I think I need to move this subject to the beginning of the day and switch it out. You know, I can do that very easily. I don't like to write in pen unless I use pen in the actual planning pages. So like the daily planning pages, I like to use my Flair pens, but like the planning pages for the beginning of the year before I really know what's going on, it's all pencil for me. So, all right. Let me know, have you made your schedules yet? And when are you starting school? Let me know. I'm starting school very, very soon. I plan to start school August 11th. So it's coming up really quick on me. It will be here before I know it. And yeah, I'm ready, but I'm not ready. I need to go over the curriculum a little bit more for each subject so I feel a little bit more familiar with each thing. But that is my goal right now, is to just familiarize myself with each book a little bit more and start making plans and start making daily plans. So I'm going to make probably the first 2 weeks of daily plans, and that's it. I'm only going to do a couple weeks at a time. I do not plan more than 2 weeks at a time ever, because things can change. People can get sick. I could get sick. So that's the plan right now. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments, when are you starting school? I would love to know if it's the same day as us, because that's really exciting. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and happy homeschooling.